Originally published on November 27, 2014. Islamic State has become a monster in the Western capitals. 60-plus countries are involved in its eradication, which speaks of its monstrosity and megalomaniacal stature. What is of concern to most of us in the West is its so-called Islamic character and style, caliphate. Strategists and opinion makers are, however, most aghast of its magnetic character of foreign individuals who are flocking to its folds. On the other hand, the analysts and commentators, on the opposite side of the mainstream, who could possibly be closer to reality/truth, are scared of expressing their dissenting point of view for fear of falling on the wrong side of the law. Regardless of the right or wrong position of the stakeholders, chaos is chaos. Killing is killing, whether it is in the name of religion, democracy, or national security. Now let us try to find out the reason for the inexplicable phenomenon of finding the primal goal of life in an absolutely unknown and uncharted world. Given human nature, its inner self is always searching through, consciously or unconsciously, various avenues a black hole to sink in to attain meaningful annihilation, which is the ultimate culmination of life. The main reason, inter alia, why people become religious is that the event horizon of the life vortex can't sustain it beyond a short span of time. In the present set of religions, especially the mainstream religions, there is hardly any which provides a required basis for logical and rational bonding. Human being, due to their psychological fragility and corporal vulnerability, is always searching for something all-powerful and indestructible to compensate for their sense of vulnerability. This ingredient is missing in most religions. Most religions, including Islam, have been distorted for the sake of compatibility, commensurability, commercialism, vested interests, or zealotry. Commanding authority, the hallmark of divine religions, what the human by its very nature is desirous of, has been compromised. There is, however, a subtle difference in the case of Islam that, despite inexhaustible efforts, from within and without, to give it a blend of liberalism, the gist of its message remained protected and preserved. This resiliency, however, is purely due to divine ordination. That is what is attracting these, apparently, skewed-minded people towards such organizations. The legitimacy of such organizations, across the board, is questionable and hard to be addressed satisfactorily even by religious scholars. The legitimacy or illegitimacy of such organizations depends mainly on who is being talked to and where. Each one would have convincing arguments for his understanding. The majority of Muslims are skeptical of ISIS coming into existence and then gaining tactical and financial strength. On the other hand, there are many who would love to join its hands blindly and sacrifice their lives for its cause, which, in their eyes, is an utmost sacred cause. Ahadith, sayings, of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, regarding jihad and the establishment of the caliphate usually obviate any counter/critical narrative for those in favor. The establishment of the caliphate is also deduced from a verse of Quran, Surah Al-Hajj v. 41, where it is said, "Those who, when we give them power in the land." The first caliphate of the rightly guided caliph started after this surah. Few such endeavors carried out in the past by certain groups, however, met strong opposition and, based on another hadith of the Prophet, PBUH, declare them as kharij, expelled/rejected ones. The use of a black flag with the words which reportedly were used at the time of the Prophet, PBUH, black head covering by the fighters, and the names such as Khorasan and Caliphate are being used to solidify the notion that this struggle is the fulfillment of the Quranic prophecies and ahadith, sayings. Western elite/decision makers generally are oblivious to the changes in the psyche of their masses. People do not get swayed by the propaganda or illogical narratives furthered, such as WMD in Iraq, military incursions of Iraq and Afghanistan, steering of Arab Spring resulting in Gen CC being at the helm of affairs in Egypt, meddling in the affairs of Libya, Algeria, Yemen, Syria, and Iran for the implementation of the doctrine, Greater Middle East. The Internet has equipped them with a counter-checking tool. For anyone with a rational mind, it would be impossible to ignore this blinding disconnect of the decision/opinion makers. Monster would, most likely, be around for a long time to come since the entrenched ideologies are hard to defeat. West's jingoistic approach to world issues and leisurely use of double standards due to its economic leverage provide legitimacy and reason for the sprouting of such organizations. Now we in the West, a victim of our own skewed wisdom, are incapable of furthering even any legitimate counter-narrative. It seems to be gaining strength and currency as reportedly many organizations from all across the world are declaring their allegiance to it or emulating it. I suspect many more sheikdoms will be devoured by this monster. Lone wolf vengeance is mostly a local phenomenon of despair and can be sufficiently addressed by stopping Muslim councils from converting prison inmates to Islam. Criminals or addicts turned Muslims not only hurt society, but also give a bad name to Islam. This may eradicate a significant portion of the problem. Now, After all this expounding, obvious question would be, what is the solution? The most befitting answer is the example of Canada and Australia, peaceful and prosperous countries simply because most often they keep their hands to themselves. Their banker is neither China nor Saudi Arabia. Can't we do the same? Read. https://shakir2.wordpress.com/2017/12/26/Islamic State and enemy/ comment /like /share /follow and subscribe. Shakir Mumtaz. Author, thinker, analyst.